So, Andy, how are you doing?
Very good, Johnny. Good to see
Excellent,
you again.
excellent, excellent. Yes, that's right. And another repeat offender, another two guitar camps you've been to.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Andy, do you remember thinking back to the first camp you came to? Do you remember how you found out about the camp?
Yeah, I was following Rob Harris on Instagram, and literally he popped up advertising that he was doing the camp with yourself, Johnny, and it's one of those things. You see it, and you think, first of all, you think, do you want to do it? And you kind of like, yeah, of course you do. And then you're like, am I good enough to do it? And then thirdly, could it possibly be real? So I messaged off and emailed, I think, yourself, and said I was interested, and got a response pretty quickly. And before I knew it, I was putting a guitar on a plane and setting off for sunny Spain. And
Awesome.
literally couldn't believe it.
Wow. Look, I mean, it's interesting that you say one of the first questions you ask yourself is, am I good enough? Right. I mean, I think that's a universal concern. Almost everybody that comes, they either tell me beforehand or during the week, I was worried about being good enough. But of course, well, I mean, how did that pan out?
Well, I mean, it was, yes, of course it was, but because Rob, and obviously the environment that you set in all your camps, Johnny, but it's not about how good you are. It's just about coming and wanting to learn, wanting to spend a week with other really cool people, and just do what you love doing. And through the course of the week, whatever standard you're at, you're going to get something out of it if you come with the right mindset. And everyone that I've been both years has come absolutely with the right mindset. We've had an absolute ball. We've all learned something. We've created some pretty cool music as well. We've made some great friends. So yeah, it definitely. But I mean, no doubt about it. The first time I came, there was a degree of apprehension, and you sort of sit in that room, and when you first meet people at Malaga Airport at Santa Maria Cafe, you're kind of like trying to work out, well, what do they do, and are they professional or are they amateurs like me? But it takes no time once you get in that room and you start playing to settle down and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, particularly the first week you came to, Andy, there was quite a spread, wasn't there, of capability?
There certainly was. I mean, there were people who were proper professional players, and then there were people like me who were much more hobbyists, but aspiring to get better. And but it worked, and that's the thing. I think all the guys, were the ones with the less ability from the ones who were superstar players, they all got something out of the experience, and were willing to sort of come into the melting pot of funk.
I think the idea is to try and create a safe environment, right? Where and it really is quite amazing, Andy. I find that really quickly, like day one, there's a sort of band of brothers. Everybody kind of locks together, and you find everybody rooting for everybody else. And this is universal across guitar, bass, horn camp, whatever camp it is. And whatever spread of abilities, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I also don't feel that the good guys, and I'm not in that camp, Johnny, but I didn't feel at all that they were being, because I think the thing that you feel if you're not professional standard, you think you're going to be dragging people down. But I didn't feel that. I think they still wanted to be there. They were still learning a huge amount from Rob, learning a huge amount from each other, and just enjoying the experience. So it's not even that you have to feel that you're slowing things down or anything. It's just a great thing to be part of.
Yeah, we discussed, I think, this in the week, don't we? There's a sort of, if you think of a line of ability, it doesn't really matter where you are on that line. We're all just trying to move in this direction, right? In the better direction.
And we've all got something in common, that we all want to spend a week playing guitar. So like there's a filter, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, so it works really well. What would be your overall impression? I mean, how would you describe the experience of the week?
I mean, the main thing, Johnny, is super relaxed, super chilled out. It's intense. You get to spend best part of a week playing guitar, talking music, pretty much 24/7 if you want to stay awake 24/7. But but it's in a really relaxed way. And again, I think another of the apprehensions is it going to be too intense? And for me, not at all. I mean, it was just you get away from the daily grind. You arrive at Malaga Airport. You as soon as you're transferred to Monachill, it's just the most relaxed setting. And whether you're one-to-one lessons, whether you're in the group lessons, whether you're just hanging out with the guys by the pool, or eating the fantastic food from Laura through the evenings and just chatting music or just life in general, it's just super relaxing. And that's, I think that's the main driver that I wanted to come back, Johnny. Not just about getting better at guitar, because that is the primary reason, but it's also just a really relaxing way to spend a week and to literally switch off from every other thing that you've got going on back home. You just go away and you're in a bubble for 6 days.
Yeah. So well, look, and of course, I'm very happy to hear you comment positively on the food. That's your business, right? So in fact, I told Laura. I think maybe I said this to you. I told Laura, you made a comment about some of her cooking while we were there, and I told Laura what you said, and I told her what you did for a living, and I thought she was going to cry. She was really. It's a really. She does it from the heart, Laura. You know.
Exactly what it is, Johnny. It's soul food, and it is genuinely better food that you could, if you booked a week in Spain and you research the best restaurants, you're going to get a quality of food, but you're not going to get the type of food that Laura cooks. And night after night, just this abundance of amazing Spanish food, brilliant ingredients, and cooked with passion. That's what it's all about.
Fabulous. I know she'll be absolutely thrilled. She'll be absolutely thrilled. So, Andy, coming to the sort of tuition, the way that was laid out, it's partly one-to-one, partly group stuff. How did you feel about the balance of that?
Yeah, again, it's absolutely spot on, Johnny. I think in the group lessons, there's a bit of technical stuff. So there's a bit of playing together, particularly focused on rhythm guitar playing. Mostly centered around funk, but not exclusively. But everyone gets playing together, and then in the group sessions, we also did a lot of Rob talking through his life as a musician and some of his experiences in the way that he would go about tackling the guitar or tackling any project that he's working on. So it's a balance of playing, listening to others, and also listening to Rob and the way that he approaches his work. And then in the group sessions, we also composed some music together, so sort of under the guidance of Rob, where everyone in the group gets the chance to contribute to a composition and lay something down, which is always really good fun, just to see something evolve and be part of a collaborative process of composing. So that's the group bit, and obviously you get a group lesson just about every day. So that I think that really helps the camaraderie, because you're 3-4 hours together in the group with the other students. And then the one-to-one sessions, so 45 minutes to an hour, one-to-one with Rob. I think that's the one that when you speak to the other attendees, they're like, just can't believe I'm doing that. I can't believe I'm sat in a room with the guitarist from Jamiroquai. And it was funny, on year one, you had this spectrum of the really, really good guitarists who were just amazed to be learning from someone who's at the peak of his profession. And then there was another guy there, Tom, who was just the biggest Jamiroquai fan, and he was a good guitarist, and Tom could play, but as much for him, it was just being in the room with someone from Jamiroquai and talking about the stories and understanding how Rob goes about being part of Jamiroquai, and obviously teaches guitar along the way, but yeah, so that's the one-to-one. And for me, I've been 2 years, and I took different things out of both years, because I think the second time, obviously, I knew what to expect, so I had a bit more of an idea of what I wanted to focus in on. But it's really fluid, and the thing I would again, that a lot of the students sort of said is, you don't go at one standard and come away, at a better standard. You're not going to improve that much in a week, but it's about the inspiration. It's about focusing in on a few things that maybe, a self-taught guitarist like myself has never really focused on, and dedicating the time to get stuck in. So having 45 minutes lesson a day, and then having the time to go and play and to work on that and to really log it in the memory bank. And whilst that may not make you better in the space of 5 days, how can you possibly get that much better? I think you then come back, and what am I, 5 weeks since I came, you're still thinking about those things, whether it's about locking into a rhythm, whether it's about the way that you're phrasing, or whatever you may have focused in with Rob, but that just really locks in the memory. And I think because you're learning in such a unique setting, learning is all about linking back to when you learned, isn't it? I think when you're playing, and I think if you're just stuck in a standard music practice room somewhere in Birmingham and it's not particularly atmospheric,
Yes.
then you're not going to get inspired so much. But I think when you log back to, what did I learn in Monochill with Rob, you're much more likely to remember those things. So
he's such a lovely guy, Rob, too, right?
Oh, well, both yourself and Rob, Johnny. I mean, just so humble from what you've achieved, so relaxed, so open, willing to share. And I think it's not a given, is it, that when you go and you buy into something like this, being taught by a professional or someone who's at the top of their game, you're a little bit apprehensive. Is it going to be as good as a great teacher? But it is, because you've got both. Speaking to Rob, he's a brilliant teacher, but he's an amazing guy as well. And I think what you get from just creating that bond over dinner of just talking and seeing him as a friend is incredible. I think both camps I've been on, the people have come from all over. So it's people that you wouldn't mix with in your daily life, because they're living in different countries. Magnus and Nina, who sort of came both times that I went, we went on the same camp. They live in Hamburg, I live in Birmingham, but genuinely great friendship. It was just great to see them again.
What would you say? What was the thing which surprised you the most? The thing that you were most surprised about?
Just how relaxed it was, Johnny. I think just how there was no feeling of pressure. There was no, I'm waking up and I've got to go in that room with all those people, or I've got to remember what I learned yesterday, or I'm not good enough. It was just, from the moment that we landed, just good times. That's the lasting memory. Yeah.
This is why the numbers are small. Okay. I think there was spare space, I think, the week you came. But generally speaking, the maximum I will take is 6 people, and I will never ever make it bigger than that, because I think that's what's special about it. If there were 50 people there, then it becomes much more anonymous, and by keeping the numbers small, to me, Andy, it feels like being on holiday with a bunch of mates. That's what it feels like.
But it is.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. But
exactly.
Playing some music as well, which just makes it even better.
There must be something, Andy, we can do to improve the camp.
No, not at all, Johnny. It's just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change it. That's the art, I think, isn't it? It's just to keep those standards as good as they are. But no, honestly, I wouldn't change a thing, and I'd tell you if I thought that there was something.
So brilliant. Well, look, Andy, that's fantastic. It's great to chat to you. Thank you so much. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see you again.
Yeah, definitely will.
Right.
Absolute pleasure.